Liverpool were utterly and completely thrashed by Man City in the FA Cup quarterfinal at the Etihad. Empty Etihad, I might say. There were loads of stands with no fans. I don't know. Maybe they're renovating. I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments what was going on there. But what a performance by Man City! I mean, they were dominant from the whistle, from the kickoff. I mean, the first half was a little bit more competitive than the second half, absolutely, right? But they did score 2 goals, deserved goals. It was definitely a penalty, no doubt about it. Van Dijk once again, what an awful season it's been for Van Dijk. Van Dijk, Salah, Alisson, those three have just wet the bed countless times for Liverpool. What a huge mistake it was by the board to renew their contracts. But anyway, the first half was more competitive. Liverpool had a bit more fighting spirit in the first half. Ekitike played well. Vitz had fits and starts, Jones here and there, but they, Man City were dominant in the game. They really were. They were dominant. And second half just sort of like bore fruition for that first half dominance, really. In second half, they were completely dominant. I mean, Liverpool just gave up, capitulated. I have never seen, and I have to say that, I've been watching Liverpool for a long, long, long time. But if you can, please let me know down in the comments. Can you remember Liverpool just being so bad? I mean, they just never look like scoring. Never. I mean, they had a penalty. Salah missed the penalty. I knew from the start that Salah was going to miss his penalty. And for me, that was another perplexing decision. Why give Salah the penalty? Why not Ekitike? Ekitike had won the penalty. He was playing better than Salah. Salah had missed a penalty earlier in the season against Galatasaray, and he hasn't been playing well. Why should you reward him with the penalty? Why? What for? Right? He's been awful. He had been awful that game, right? And so they gave the Salah the penalty, and he missed it once again, which is the most predictable thing you could ever predict. I mean, I wish I had money on that penalty. I would have won a lot of money because I knew, and I think the whole world knew he was going to miss that penalty. Salah has been awful again. Him and Van Dijk, really, those two may just construe somehow to screw over Liverpool and make them lose this game. Now, Man City, Cherki. I am not a big fan of Cherki, but this game, he was immense. He was easily my man of the match. I know Haaland scored the hat-trick. I know he played very well. So Semenyo, Doku, again, discombobulating the defense, the Liverpool defense. Gomez didn't know what was going on. He had to be taken off. Really, Doku took him to the cleaners. And Semenyo was brilliant as usual. But Cherki, the way he stitched the game together, Rodri actually looked like Ballon d'Or Rodri in this game. Bernardo Silva still looked a bit off the pace. But Man City were brilliant. I mean, they were good. If they play like this against Madrid, who knows what the result could have been. But they were very good. Now, let's move on to Liverpool, because this game is all about Liverpool and mainly about two players. Let me start with Van Dijk. Van Dijk gave a penalty. It was an obvious penalty, right? And it's indicative of the way he's played throughout the entire season. He has been awful. And the thing about Van Dijk, right, which I think is the most egregious thing, is his abdication of responsibility. The way he just keeps on blaming other players, especially poor Kerkez. I mean, Kerkez has not been playing well, but his confidence is constantly eroded by his captain, Van Dijk. Van Dijk always looks to Konate or Kerkez like, what are you guys doing? I look at I was watching the goal, the third goal, the hat-trick goal for Haaland. I was watching it. And I watched Van Dijk literally run away from marking Haaland, that entire movement, right? He didn't want to mark him. And guess what? He was his man. He was meant to be marking Haaland. How do you leave Haaland unmarked in the penalty box? The deadliest striker in the Premier League. Now the deadliest striker in the world. I mean, him and Mbappe are probably arguing about that. But he is immense in terms of finishing. Haaland doesn't give you much. But in terms of finishing, he is world class, right? The best, probably. And you leave him unmarked in your penalty box. There's only ever going to be one result. And then when he didn't do that, you saw him, he's hitting the ground, he's looking at other people. So for me, Van Dijk, his biggest quality when he was on top of the world was the fact that he was a great leader. He could organize a game very well because he could see danger coming, right? He wasn't the most aggressive defender. He wasn't the best in the air. He wasn't the best in terms of tackling. But in terms of his all-round game, he was very good, right? Because he could read the game and then he could marshal the defenders. And so you got to put Konate next to him Of course, it's a winning formula. Last season, it was a winning formula. But his decline this season, his fall from the cliff has been ridiculous. It has been immense. And the biggest thing about it is that he keeps on abdicating responsibility to other people. He keeps on blaming Kirkes and keeps on blaming Konate, right? And so what happens is he's destroying the confidence of the young man Kirkes. So if I'm Slot, why not play Robertson on the left? Why not play Robertson? At least they know each other. And Van Dijk can't blame Robertson because Robertson has been world class since he's come to Liverpool. I don't understand it, right? So for me, Van Dijk, awful, absolutely awful. Let's move on to Salah. Man City have got two weaknesses. They're fullbacks in Nunes and O'Reilly. I mean, O'Reilly and Nunes going forward are excellent. O'Reilly is a cheat, right? What Guardiola wants to do with O'Reilly is he puts him in midfield. He really plays midfield. That's what he does. He's really not a left back. So defensively, they are very vulnerable. And so many teams have taken advantage of that. Look at Real Madrid with Valverde. They put him out on the wing because Arbeloa knew that their fullbacks don't mark. They try to dump into midfield and cheat in that way. And so Man City are always vulnerable on the flanks, in whether it's Nunes or whomever playing, or Out Nuri wants to go and attack, or whether it's O'Reilly or Rico Lewis, whoever's playing on those flanks wants to go out and attack, right? Often in big games, you've seen he's actually end up playing Kushanov on one of the flanks, right? Because he knows that these guys cannot defend. Or Ake on one of the flanks, right? Who are naturally central defenders. And so this is a glaring weakness. And Salah should have been able to take advantage, because there were so many times where he was just alone, Salah, alone, no one marking him. And did he take advantage of the situation? No. He kept on missing chance after chance after chance, right? I mean, he was bad. He was bad, so bad. And Salah, I think his mind is already in Saudi Arabia. That contract, giving him that contract is such, man, him and Van Dijk, what an awful mistake. There's a famous coach in America called Bill Belichick, who won loads of titles with the Patriots, the New England Patriots. And he had one big saying, right? That it's better to release a player one season early rather than one season late. And I think this is the situation. Liverpool should have cashed in on Van Dijk and Salah because the hype is real, right? The hype is real, especially Salah. Salah should have been sold to Saudi for a big amount of money. Now he's going to go on a free. You've paid him loads of money this season, and he's done nothing but negative. So what can Liverpool do going forward? Liverpool is very nostalgic. They are famously loyal to winning managers, right? They don't fire winning managers. And so I think that his job is not in danger. So going forward, I think what he should do is, for the fixture against PSG, I think Salah should be on the bench. He really should be. I think with Van Dijk, I think you give him a sitting down to, you give him a talking to, and you say, look, son, you are the captain of this team. You are the heart and soul of this team. You have to accept responsibility. You're the one who's going to have to mark Dembele or someone, or Due or the big players. You're the one who's going to have to take responsibility, marshal the players around you. Stop, crapping on Kirkes. Stop destroying his confidence. And so I would keep Van Dijk in the team, but I'd give him a stern warning. I will then have to drop Salah. Play the young man, the youngster Onomua. He's very good. He's very bright. He's works very hard. And I think the way you beat PSG is through the energy that famously Liverpool have. You know, the rock and roll style of football. And I think PSG will struggle to keep up with that. Because in the earlier leg against Chelsea, whenever Pedro Neto had the ball, and he caused Marquinhos all sorts of problems, because in Mendes and Hakimi, their fullbacks like to go up, right? And so there's always space, just like against Man City, there's always space in the flanks behind Hakimi and Mendes. And so the wingers will be very important. So I would play Vince on the right, on the left, and I would play Onomua on the left, right, on the right, where Salah normally plays. And I'll go forward from there with Ekitike up front. And I know Isaac is coming back from injury, but I would still keep him on the bench to come on as an X factor. And maybe he can fire something up in Salah, right? That maybe something will be stirred inside him so that when he comes on as a sub, he can be all action as he's always been in the past. So let me know what you think of Liverpool. What an awful performance by them. What a great performance by Man City. I mean, if Man City played the way they played this game, it could be a scary prospect for Arsenal. Tell me in the comments below, do you believe that Man City can come back from this? Or do you believe that it's a little too late in terms of winning the actual Premier League? And as always, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel.